Most people wake up every morning already feeling the weight of money on their shoulders. Bills pile up, the rent is due, and that quiet voice whispers, "You're falling behind." It's a voice that never leaves, not when you're working, not when you're resting, and not even when you get a raise. Because financial stress isn't only about how much you earn. It's about how you think about money, how you react to it, and how your habits silently shape your financial destiny. Think about it. We live in a world where everyone wants to look successful, but very few want to build real wealth. Most people chase the next paycheck, the next promotion, or the next flashy purchase, believing it'll finally bring peace. But the truth is brutal. The more they chase, the more trapped they become. Financial stress isn't born from poverty, it's born from poor decisions repeated over time. There's a reason why so many hardworking people still feel broke, even after years of effort. The system we live in rewards consumption, not discipline. It teaches us to spend before we earn, to borrow before we build, to impress instead of invest. And when the cycle tightens, people wonder why freedom feels so far away. They look at the wealthy as if they were lucky, when in reality, the wealthy play by a completely different set of rules. Here's the painful truth. Escaping financial stress requires more than just making more money. It requires breaking psychological chains, the invisible habits that keep you living paycheck to paycheck. It means understanding that money is not the goal. Freedom is. And money is simply the tool to buy back your time, your peace, and your options. Most people never learn this lesson. They keep running faster on the treadmill, chasing an image of success that keeps moving away. The problem isn't effort, it's direction. You can work hard your entire life and still end up exhausted and broke if you're running in the wrong direction. That's the hidden trap of financial stress. It makes you believe effort alone will save you, when in reality, it's strategy and awareness that set you free. So, let me ask you something. How long have you been running? How long have you been trading your time, your energy, and your sanity for a sense of financial stability that never comes? Because in this video, we're going to break that cycle. You'll learn why most people never escape financial stress, and more importantly, how you can. But before we dive in, I want you to do one small thing. If you've ever felt trapped by money, if you've ever looked at your paycheck and wondered where it all went, hit that like button. Not just to support the video, but as a promise to yourself. A promise that today you start understanding money differently. Because once you change your relationship with money, everything else follows. One of the greatest illusions in modern life is believing that earning more money automatically means you'll be financially secure. Most people spend their entire lives chasing a higher income, thinking it's the key to peace of mind. They work overtime, climb the corporate ladder, or start side hustles, all to escape the feeling of being broke. But then something strange happens. Their income rises and their stress rises with it. That's the paradox of money. When your earnings grow, your desires grow even faster. You start buying a nicer car, renting a bigger apartment, eating at more expensive restaurants. You tell yourself you deserve it because you're working harder. And little by little, your lifestyle expands to fill every dollar you earn. This is what experts call lifestyle inflation, and it's the silent thief of financial freedom. Imagine a man who once earned $2,000 a month and struggled to survive. Every bill is a reminder that part of your income no longer belongs to you. It's already claimed by someone else. And when you live that way long enough, debt becomes a normal part of your identity. That's when it's most dangerous, when you stop noticing the cage. Here's the shocking part. Most people aren't in debt because of emergencies. They're in debt because of impatience. They want things faster than they can earn them. They confuse wants with needs. They finance experiences and luxuries that fade long before the payments do. And when life gets harder, they borrow more to catch up, digging deeper into a hole that feels impossible to escape. But here's the secret that the wealthy know: debt isn't always the enemy. It's a tool. The difference is who controls it. Poor people use debt to buy liabilities, things that lose value. The rich use debt to buy assets, things that produce income. One enslaves you, the other empowers you. The key is not to avoid all debt, but to avoid bad debt, the kind that costs you peace instead of creating profit. So how do you escape the grip of debt? Start small, but start today. Make a list of every debt you owe, no matter how small. Face the numbers, avoid the emotional trap of ignoring them. Then attack the smallest debt first. Each victory builds momentum. And as you clear one, use that freed up cash flow to crush the next. This method, often called the snowball effect, turns financial chaos into measurable progress. At the same time, stop feeding the monster. Cut the habits that keep debt alive. If you're still financing unnecessary luxuries while trying to pay off loans, you're bailing water from a sinking boat while drilling new holes. Debt repayment requires sacrifice, but it's the kind that builds character. The first time you say no to instant gratification, you're saying yes to freedom. Ask yourself, how much of your life belongs to someone else right now? How many hours of your work each month go directly to paying for past decisions? Because until you take control of your debt, you'll never truly control your destiny. In the next part, we'll talk about the missing element that keeps most people stuck, even after paying off debt, the absence of a clear financial plan. Because freedom isn't just about getting out of the hole, it's about knowing exactly where you're going next. Most people go through life reacting to money rather than directing it. They get paid, they spend, they stress, they repeat. There's no map, no structure, no intentionality, just a constant cycle of trying to survive the month. And that's exactly why financial freedom seems like a fantasy. You can't reach a destination you've never planned for. You wouldn't build a house without blueprints, yet millions of people try to build wealth without one. The absence of a plan doesn't just create confusion, it creates dependency. Without a plan, you rely on luck. You rely on the next paycheck, the next promotion, or the next big idea to fix everything. But wealth doesn't grow in chaos. It grows in clarity. Every rich person you admire didn't just stumble into money, they designed a system that made wealth inevitable. Their money has a purpose, a direction, and a mission. Here's the brutal truth. If you don't tell your money where to go, someone else will. Your employer, the government, corporations, and advertisers all have plans for your money, and none of them include your freedom. Every ad you see, every limited time offer, every financial product is designed to extract a small piece of your attention and your income. Without a plan, you're not playing the game, you're being played. So what does a real financial plan look like? It's not a stack of complex spreadsheets or a collection of apps. It's a simple, clear structure that gives every dollar a job. Step one, track where your money actually goes. Most people have no idea how much they spend on food, entertainment, or small subscriptions. Awareness is the foundation of control. Step two, define your priorities. Not everything deserves your money. Step three, automate your savings and investments, so discipline doesn't depend on willpower. The wealthy don't rely on motivation, they rely on systems. A solid plan also includes a safety net. Emergencies aren't a matter of if, but when. The average person faces financial disaster because they never prepare for it. A simple emergency fund, even just a few months of expenses, can turn a crisis into an inconvenience. It's not about expecting disaster, it's about protecting your peace of mind so that one unexpected event doesn't erase years of effort. But planning isn't only about defense, it's about offense. Every plan should have a path toward growth. That means setting clear investment goals, learning about risk, and diversifying your income. When you have multiple income streams, one setback won't destroy you. When you invest early, time becomes your greatest ally. And when you treat money as a tool for creation, not consumption, you begin to experience real control. The truth is, a financial plan doesn't just change your bank account, it changes your mindset. It transforms anxiety into confidence, confusion into strategy. You stop asking, can I afford this? And start asking, does this align with my goals? That's how wealthy people think. They don't just save, they allocate. They don't just hope, they project. So here's a question worth asking yourself. If your financial life were a business, would you invest in it? Or would you walk away because there's no vision, no direction, and no structure? You are the CEO of your financial future, and every dollar you spend is a business decision. In the next part, we'll explore the behaviors and mindsets that separate the wealthy from everyone else. Because success isn't just about having a plan, it's about living by principles that turn that plan into reality. Wealth isn't an accident, it's a reflection of daily habits repeated for years. The difference between those who stay broke and those who become financially independent isn't intelligence, luck, or talent. It's consistency. Every wealthy person follows patterns that most people ignore, not because they're magical, but because they're disciplined. They've learned that small actions, compounded over time, build unstoppable momentum. Let's start with mindset. The rich see money as a tool, not a trophy. They don't chase it for status, they use it for leverage. Every dollar that enters their account is treated as potential energy. It can either be spent and vanish, or invested and multiply. That's why they think in decades, not days. They don't ask, what can I buy? They ask, what can this create? That single shift in perspective separates consumers from builders. Meanwhile, the average person treats money emotionally. They spend to escape boredom, stress, or insecurity. They believe comfort now is worth the cost later. But wealth demands the opposite: discomfort now for freedom later. The rich embrace delayed gratification, like an athlete embraces training pain. It's not fun, but it's necessary. Every time they choose discipline over desire, they're building invisible wealth that will one day become visible. Another defining habit is routine learning. The wealthy read, listen, and study constantly, not to sound smart, but to stay sharp. They know that information compounds just like money. While others spend hours consuming entertainment, they consume education. They treat knowledge as capital. Think of Warren Buffett. He still reads hundreds of pages a day. Or Elon Musk, who learned rocket science by reading. Wealth begins in the mind long before it reaches the bank. Then there's networking and environment. The rich are intentional about who they spend time with. They surround themselves with thinkers, doers, and mentors who stretch their standards. They understand that proximity is power. You can't soar if you're surrounded by people who are content crawling. They don't gossip about problems, they strategize about solutions. Your net worth often mirrors your network. The wealthy also practice financial automation. They remove emotion from decisions by creating systems that do the work for them. Their investments are scheduled, their bills are automated, and their savings happen without thought. They've built a structure where discipline is not an option, it's the default. The poor rely on willpower, the rich rely on automation. That's why they win even on their lazy days. And here's one more powerful truth: the rich track everything. They know their numbers, they review their budgets, analyze their portfolios, and adjust their goals regularly. You can't improve what you don't measure. Every fortune started with awareness. Every empire started with accountability. If you don't track your money, you'll always wonder where it went. If you do, you'll start telling it where to go. But perhaps the most underrated habit of all is gratitude and focus. The wealthy understand that abundance begins with appreciation. They don't constantly chase what's missing, they optimize what's already working. Gratitude keeps greed in check, and focus keeps distractions away. Together, they create clarity, the foundation of long-term success. Now ask yourself this: if someone followed you around for a week, would your habits make them think you're building wealth or just surviving? Because wealth doesn't happen someday. It happens today, in the choices you make when no one is watching. In the next and final part, we'll bring everything together: the mindset, the strategy, and the plan to reveal the formula for true financial freedom. Because escaping financial stress isn't just about money. It's about mastering life itself. Freedom isn't a dream, it's a design. It's not reserved for the lucky, the gifted, or the chosen few. It's available to anyone willing to master discipline, clarity, and purpose. Escaping financial stress isn't about chasing a miracle. It's about following a formula that's simple but rare. Earn wisely, spend intentionally, invest consistently, and think long-term. That's the true path to financial peace. You see, the journey to freedom begins with awareness. You must first understand the game before you can win it. Most people live in denial. They avoid checking their accounts, ignore their debts, and pretend things will work out somehow. But freedom starts with brutal honesty. You must face your reality, not fear it. Because only when you know exactly where you stand can you take control of where you're going. Next comes mastery of habits. The rich aren't superheroes, they're disciplined humans. They automate good decisions and eliminate bad ones. They know that emotion is the enemy of wealth, so they design systems that protect them from themselves. Their spending is deliberate, their investments are automatic, and their goals are crystal clear. They don't hope for financial freedom, they schedule it. Then comes ownership. True wealth isn't just about assets, it's about autonomy. Every dollar you own gives you a small piece of your time back. Every passive income stream is a step away from dependency. The poor sell time for money. The rich buy time with money. And when you finally reach that point where your money works harder than you do, stress becomes irrelevant. You stop surviving and you start living. But here's what most people forget: wealth without purpose is just another prison. Money alone won't make you fulfilled. The true goal is freedom of choice, the ability to design your life around what truly matters. Whether it's family, travel, creativity, or contribution, financial freedom gives you the power to live on purpose. Without it, you're just existing inside someone else's plan. To make this formula real, remember the 4 pillars: mindset, management, multiplication, and meaning. Mindset: think long-term. See money as energy that flows, not something to chase. Management: track, budget, automate, and control. Discipline creates peace. Multiplication: invest in assets that grow. Let time and compounding do the heavy lifting. Meaning, know why you're doing it. Purpose gives direction to your ambition. So ask yourself, what would your life look like if you never had to worry about money again? Not because you won the lottery, but because you built systems that guarantee stability, growth, and freedom. The answer to that question is your new target. It's not fantasy, it's math plus mindset plus patience. Financial stress thrives on confusion and inaction. The moment you take action, even a small one, you weaken its grip. Start today. Build your emergency fund. Pay down one small debt. Open that investment account. Track your spending. Learn one new skill that increases your income. Every step compounds into momentum, and momentum becomes freedom. And when that freedom arrives, remember this: it's not about the money. It's about what the money allows you to do: to live fully, to give generously, and to stop being a slave to the system. If this message resonated with you, take a second to subscribe, like, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Let's create a world where financial peace isn't rare, it's normal. Because your freedom story starts right here, right now.